Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Seasonal Tokens Podcast, where Polar interviews people so you can do more investing and less gambling.
I think that most young investors, what I see, Polar, they gamble way too much. They put way too much of their money into really, highly risky assets. And generally speaking, then when they drop, they panic sell. And then, they lose all their money that way. So this way, if you keep the portfolio recommendation to a smaller portion of your overall investable plan, then when crypto is swinging violently back and forth, your overall net worth is relatively insulated from that. So, okay, give you an example. When crypto just dropped, 65% from its all-time November 2021 highs, my total loss was from its peak. It went down almost $500,000. However, because I have most of my assets into real estate, into other, stocks, into private placements, other investments, my total net worth went down, 5% maybe. So it really wasn't that big of a deal, although it hurt. It wasn't pleasant. I didn't enjoy it. It didn't change my life, and it's setting me up to where now I can even buy even more crypto at better prices. And so when it does come back, which we know it will come back, I don't know when, nobody knows when, but we know that it's going to come back, and then my portfolio is going to it's going to crank.
Yeah, absolutely. By saying all this, you are bringing up a very important topic of mindset. I think that this is very overlooked topic, and a lot of early investors and I think also advanced investors are just like somehow trying to forget that such thing like mindset exists, and they just want to focus on the doing side of the things, when based on like my experience, but this is just my experience, if you are going in something with the wrong mindset, your chances of success are very low. So what do you think about the best mindset when you are investing in crypto?
Well, I think, I already hinted at one thing, and it's the commitment to the right proper allocation of your total investable dollars. So asset allocation is the most important decision for your overall success of your investing life. And a lot of people, and I think what you're kind of getting at, is they look at specific investments or kind of the tactics, the overall strategy that you have of, okay, I'm going to put 50%, 60% into real estate, 10%, 20%, 25% into crypto, 25% into stocks. Like the asset allocation is the much more important decision. And most people stress a lot more about the tactical decisions. Which specific stock should I buy? Which crypto should I buy? And how much of each of those crypto, right? So tactical decisions are important. Because we want to be picking the right assets, right, and good quality assets inside the whole portfolio. But it's definitely not by any stretch the most important part.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense. And you said something very important about the allocation, which is also something that a lot of advisors, if we can call them like that, are not talking about. And I'm thinking that most of the advisors are like trying to guide people in a very wrong direction with a lot of misleading points, I would say. So based on your experience, have you noticed some like advices or guidance that is guiding people to the wrong direction when we talk about crypto investing?
Well, of course, I believe that any of those meme coins are, very much gambles. I don't think that any of those coins that really took off, that really didn't have any real intrinsic value, they really weren't a project that was solving any sort of problem. I think that for most people, they'll probably look back and like, yeah, those were a mistake. It's very, very difficult to time the market in those types of investments. And most people just time it the wrong way. And then, they pretty much get slaughtered. So that's a big mistake that I see is that anybody that's pushing those types of coins, I mean, a lot of those are just, essentially they're pump and dumps. And so what I wanted to do is kind of zoom out and look at this as a 5-year play. And most people look at it as a short-term play. Like I want to score in the next 3 months, 6 months. I want to make 100, 200, 300% returns because I want to get, as humans, we want to make the most amount of money possible with the least amount of effort. That's how we're wired. That's why people gamble. That's why people play the lottery. They want essentially something for nothing. And so anytime that you're gambling, you'll never stop. Because if you do gamble and you win, then you're going to be like, oh, well, I know what I'm doing. And then you're going to re-gamble. And then that might work. And then the third time, boom, it collapses and you lose most of your money. If you play the game where maybe you gambled a little bit, but you do it in such a way that it's very responsible with the bulk of your investments into things that have a lot more greater chance of safety and of growth, then I think you're putting yourself in a much better position. I know this, okay? Most of the crypto advisors that I see, they've even publicly said that if they don't say on their video that something's either going to crash or it's going to go to the moon, that the video doesn't get any engagement. It doesn't get any views. So they're just creating the material that's going to create the biggest amount of views, engagement, viral spreading and sharing. And they're not really serving the audience. And to serve the audience, it's a little bit less exciting than that. It's a little more boring than that in nature. Because truly to build wealth, sustainable, indestructible wealth, Polar, it's slow and it's boring. And nobody wants to freaking hear that. Who wants to listen? Nobody wants to hear that. Humans don't want to hear that. Especially younger investors, they 100% don't want to hear that. When I was 22 and I had saved up $50,000 in college, if you would have told me go buy a real estate property and just get 8, 9, 10% returns, I would have said that's boring. I don't want to do that. Are you kidding me? I want to be a multi-millionaire by the time I'm 30. So I went out and bought tech stocks because those were cranking at the time. Well, that was the 2000 .com bubble crash. So 50% of my money evaporates within 3 months of investing. Why? Well, I bought risky assets that I didn't understand. And then when they dropped, I panicked, sold them out. I didn't have the ability or the knowledge or the experience to be able to kind of ride out those drops. So that's what I see happening today. It's just happening all over again in crypto. Tech stocks dropped, yes, but the younger kids, they're going for huge amounts of crypto. They want big, quick gains. And they're not really looking at, now this is a long game. I've got to settle in for the long haul. This is the way I'm really going to grow some serious wealth that's going to last.
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone wants everything right now. And crypto sometimes promises that it can do it for you. And there are plenty of people that post their success stories of how they have become very rich, very wealthy because of their last bull run, for example. But very small amount of people, even from those guys that are millionaires, admit that they have lost everything in the last bear market or right now. And people just think that it's mostly winning and in a very small percentage losing. So it's very, misleading to the people that are just joining the crypto space. And it is like, I can compare it with Instagram. Like when you log in Instagram and you start following some people, you just see an amazing life. People are traveling all over the world. They are driving an amazing cars. They have money for everything. But if you know these people in real person and you are part of their life, I'm sure that you have seen that it's not always like that. They have very bad moments, and probably most of their life has been with such bad moments, and probably they're even experiencing bad moments right now. But like you just said, nobody wants to talk about that and nobody wants to listen about that. So if you want to grow your audience, just talk them good things, talk them bullish things, talk them how they will become millionaires very, very fast. Otherwise, you're going to lose your audience that fast also. So I definitely agree with you.